This is 5 tips in 5 minutes on team formation. Tip 1, ask yourself why you want to build a team. I see a lot of people at the early stages of companies focusing on building out the perfect team for what they want to build, instead of focusing on what they're actually building. And I think that can be a problem sometimes. If that happens too much, they can end up developing a product that doesn't work out, or building a team that doesn't make sense for what the product ends up becoming. I also know a lot of people that are single founders of companies that built up incredible teams by themselves, either by focusing on the skills that they had more, or by developing the skills where they had gaps. So ask yourself why you're actually building out the team that you want to build, and whether you really need to. Are you doing it because that's just what people do in building companies, or because you think that'll look good to the partners or investors or other things that you need for the company? Really challenge yourself on why you're doing it and whether you need to for what you want to develop. Tip 2, ask yourself why someone would join your team. I see a lot of effort going into finding co-founders for a company, but I don't see as much effort going into finding the reasons people should join a company. A really incredible team only forms around an incredible idea, particularly an incredibly compelling idea in how you present it. I'm going to tell a parable, so forgive me for telling a parable, but someone walks into a town and they have no food, and they walk around and they have no money either, but they pick up a rock and they say, look at this rock, this is a magic rock. It makes the most incredible soup you've ever tasted. So it's honestly, out of all the food you could ever taste, this is going to be the best. I'm going to make this, and I don't need your food. I don't need anything from you. I'm just going to use this rock. I'll give you a little bit of this magic soup that comes from this stone if you give me some leftover meat or some leftover vegetables or some other, things that you don't really need. And then I'll give you this incredible soup. And you can see where that's going as a story, that having that incredible kind of vision that you can articulate clearly to people and in a compelling way allows them to give you the ingredients that you need to make that incredible thing that you probably can't make without them. But you need to be able to articulate what that incredible thing is that you're building. Tip 3, ask yourself whether you're giving team members something to work on that excites them. One of the biggest reasons people give for why they start startups is to work on technology that excites them. So particularly for people with a software background like myself, it's very hard not to find interesting new technologies or really challenging things to work on. But it applies to every field as well. People need things that challenge them, things that they enjoy working on, things that they can feel proud of working on. And think about, are you asking people to do those challenging, interesting things, or are you just asking for a team member? And I think particularly for technical team members, if you can articulate why this is something that is fascinating to work on, I think that can really get them over the line. Tip 4, assume that team members are going to leave. Bit depressing, but every team member is a temporary team member, including yourself. You have to think about what happens when people move on, and particularly if they move on soon. So say this perfect team that you form, in 6 months' time, what happens if one of them needs to move on to another job opportunity, or for personal reasons, or there's some kind of falling out? How does the company continue without them? Everyone's friends on day one, but trust me, across thousands of companies that I've seen running, that doesn't always continue. Look at vesting agreements, maybe, where equity is given to people over time, and or good leaver provisions and employment contracts that make sure that people leave on good terms. Whatever you do, just think about what happens if this team you're forming doesn't all stay together. Tip 5, hire for potential. So in the same way your company is not yet the amazing company it's going to be in the future, I think you need to look at team members in the same way. So not where are the perfect people that satisfy everything that we need to build out this, but rather where are the people that can become perfect for this role and be experts in what we're building. You're probably operating in Australia. That's a really competitive labour market. Top shelf people are either very expensive or very hard to find. But if you're willing to look for people that can become top shelf instead, you unlock pools of people that aren't in as high demand. So I'd say if you want to get the people that other people aren't getting, you need to focus on the people that other people aren't focused on. And you need to do the things that other people aren't doing. So taking on interns, lecturing or speaking to different subjects, going to meetups, doing all the things to put yourself out there and find the people that could be diamonds in the rough and helping them become what they can be. In return, I think that makes what you're building into what it can be as well. So those are my top 5 tips on team formation. Good luck.